If you ask me what is the most important volume in the entire classroom of the Elite series, the answer will be Volume 0. Of course, this volume is a prequel to the story before Ayanokoji enters ANHS. It was filled with a lot of information from the outside that we usually never have access to. There are a lot of mysteries that got answered in this volume, but Volume 0 gives us more mystery than an answer. Some mystery might be connected with a few things that have been going on in ANHS. Let's try to analyze it one by one, starting from the main character of this volume and potentially the last boss of this series, Ayanokoji Atsuomi. Atsuomi was first introduced in Volume 7 first year arc when he visited Ayanokoji. He was shown to have a really powerful force to the point he can force his way into the school that is supposed to restrict contact with outside. This got explained in Volume 0. Turns out, Atsuomi has a very strong standing in politics, business, and even underground world. He got along with the people in the Peace Party. He also has a lot of connections with businessmen, where he got his money to fund the White Room. And he has a secret connection with the underground world, where he got the baby for the White Room experiment. In Volume 11 first year arc, Chairman Sakayanagi explains that Atsuomi is not very smart or athletic, but he got a very strong ambition to the point that he could move the country. Volume 0 explains a bit of Atsuomi background. His parents abandoned him since he was a baby, so he was raised by his grandparents. They live in a shack without electricity, and he could only take a bath once a week. His unprivileged childhood is the reason he wants to become a politician, because for him, being a politician is the best way to gain power. Sadly, he didn't have enough talent or connection to survive in the political world. However, he didn't give up. He joined the ruling party and became Noe's subordinate. He was willing to do even the dirtiest work to prove himself valuable, and his effort bears fruit because Noe chose him to run the White Room project. He had nothing, but wanted to gain everything and would do anything for it. That's why his quote holds so much meaning.
A person who has power yet neglects to use it is a fool.
If you have the power, use it. If not, you will never achieve anything you want. Even if it's dirty, even if it's evil. As long as you win in the end, that's all that matters. The White Room project is Atsuomi's first chance to attain more power and wealth. He was entrusted by Noe to run a human development project, and he chose to name it White Room, based on the color of the building. He asked for help from Chairman Sakayanagi to introduce him to the business world. That way, he could gather funds for his project. With the help of Tsukishiro, he manages to find the researcher he needs. He also uses all kinds of methods to get the baby for his project, such as black market and illegitimate children. And then, with 15 children as starters, they start the first generation of White Room. There are a total 3 researchers. Each of them was given 5 babies as subject experiments and 3 years to implement their education. After 3 years, Suzukake research showed the best result among them, so he was chosen as the lead instructor, and his curriculum was used to start the second generation of White Room students. The White Room project was running smoothly up to the 3rd generation, but Atsuomi chose to take a step higher and has a child of his own. He chose to have a child and put him in the White Room purely as a method to raise a fund. He also raised the curriculum to level 10, the highest and the most inhuman. Except for Ayanokoji, no one survives more than 8 years. Suzukake creates 10 levels of curriculum. The first generation used the first level, and the level was raised in each generation. The 4th generation is an exception. They start to use level for curriculum in the 5th generation. Other than that, they purposely make sure the 5th generation and below know about Ayanokoji's existence. This explains why Yagami holds a grudge against Ayanokoji. However, and known to Yagami and the other, Ayanokoji data that was shown to them is already manipulated to make them believe they have a chance to reach Ayanokoji level. Speaking of Ayanokoji, there is some debate to decide if Ayanokoji is a true genius or just an artificial genius. Sakayanagi admits that he is a true genius, not a fake one. Volume 0 further verified this statement. Not only a genius, Ayanokoji is an enigma. Even as an infant, he already remembers a thing that he saw and heard, even though he doesn't understand them. He also possesses a terrifying adaptability that makes him could learn something just by looking. Ayanokoji was not naturally born as the smartest or the strongest, but he learned it from his mistakes, so he always came back stronger. That kind of talent is what allows him to become the demon of the fourth generation. Volume 0 introduces a lot of interesting characters. The most interesting one is definitely Mika, Ayanokoji's mother. Mika was a hostess who Atsuomi chose to marry for the sake of giving birth. She agreed to Atsuomi's proposal purely because of money. After she received her payment, she just left and never appeared in front of Atsumi again. However, there is an interesting theory by Anime Anyway who predicts that Mika is the mother of Tsubasa, who was enrolled at ANHS in the beginning of the second year arc. We never knew about Mika's family name, and we never got an illustration of her. I think that was intentional by the writer to not give us too much hint about it. If that's true, it might tie the story quite nicely as the foundation of the third year arc, with Tsubasa playing a bigger role because she was shown to hide something from Ayanokoji. She knows that there was never any plan to expel Ayanokoji. Looking at her connection with Tsukishiro, it's not exaggeration to say they have something prepared for the third year arc. Another interesting character that might have a connection with another character from the series is Yuki, a fellow fourth-generation White Room student who had a crush on Ayanokoji. Her appearance has a lot of resemblance with Sakurako, another first-year student. There is some theory that says they might be a sister, and if that's true, it could bring us to a possible plot after graduation where Ayanokoji meets up with Yuki again, or maybe the other fourth generation, such as Shiro. For the record, Shiro is the first one who told Ayanokoji the desire to go outside. They also make some kind of promise to meet again out there. The chance is small, but I would love to see Shiro again. Kanzaki makes a surprising cameo in Volume 0. Turns out he is the son of a businessman and idolizes Atsumi. He even remembers Atsumi's word and uses it as a guide in real life. Thanks to his father connection, Kanzaki knows about Ishigami. I think this scene is not just a filler, but to give a hint about the Kanzaki and Ishigami connections and the possibility of them working together in the future. Looking at the fact that Kanzaki got beaten up so badly in Volume 12's second year arc, he will surely accept help from anyone for the sake of his class. We still didn't know anything about Ishigami's intention, but if he has something to do with Ayanokoji, having someone from the same grade will help him to do whatever he has in mind. The most interesting thing in Volume 0 is definitely the political world where Atsumi tries to fight. There are several factions that try to gain power, and Atsumi was part of the ruling party where the current Prime Minister Kojima belongs. Atsumi used to work under Naoi and try to convince him to become the next Prime Minister. However, Naoi chose to support Kojima, thus betraying Atsumi and all his effort. It turns out Kojima is already creating similar facilities as White Room, and he cannot accept a competition, so White Room needs to go. At the end, Atsumi chose to walk on his own and take White Room with him. He is planning to return after Noi's death, and he will never give up on White Room. His betrayal causing Noi to antagonizing him. Noi use all kind of method to shut down the White Room, so Atsumi need to hide everything until Noi gone. However, Atsumi didn't want to just stay silent. His ambition for power already prepare the next target, Kojima. To fight Kojima, he will need a strong ally, and Ayanokoji will be his pawn for it. However, before Ayanokoji old enough to enter politics, Atsumi already prepare another plan for him. Turn out Ayanokoji enrolling to ANHS was Atsumi's plan all along. We still didn't know why Atsumi do that, but it will be clear in the next volume, where Atsumi will come to school for parent-teacher meeting. Whatever Atsumi's reason was, it's just sad that Ayanokoji never truly escaping his father's grasp. There is one interesting scene from Suzukaki. He wondered about his greatest creation, Ayanokoji Kiyotaka. He never truly understand what Ayanokoji really is, but he admit that Ayanokoji already surpassed him, and he was hoping that Ayanokoji will take over his role and continue educating the next generation of White Room. However, he closed his report with one question. He's wondering if Ayanokoji could truly be happy at the end of his life. Ayanokoji didn't know about happiness. White Room never teach him something like that. However, after experiencing normal life, Ayanokoji's slowly feeling an unfamiliar emotion inside him. At the end of the series, we might find the answer of Suzukaki question. Ayanokoji is no longer a cold-hearted child with no emotion. He has a friend, he has a lover, and now he is able to smile. Slowly but surely, I hope he find his happiness.